Yo, what's going on everyone? It's your boy Ethan. Hope you're having a great day. Welcome back to another video. We're back at Boston Billiard. It's a Friday night right now and it's packed in here. Absolutely packed, and even better, there are 4 2-5 games running, which is usually not a thing, but 4 is a lot, and we're hopping into the must-move game, so we'll see how that one goes. But with that said, hopefully we run things up, we find ourselves at an action-friendly table and see how it goes. But we're free to record, we don't have to hide recording or anything or run into any drama, so happy about that. But that's all I got, man. Let's hop into the video, let's hop into the action and get some cards in the air. On this busy night at Boston Billiard, first hand into the 2-5 game, we pick up pocket 7s under the gun playing 5-handed. I open it up to $20 and, well, we get the button, small blind, and big blind to call. Flop 4 ways comes 9-9-3-2 hearts. Action checks to me, pretty good flop for pocket 7s, so we decide to put out a C-bet of $35 just to target flush draws and protect from overcards. With this $35 bet, only the big blind makes the call, and we're going to a turn. The turn comes the Jack of Diamonds. He checks to us, and pretty easy for us to just check this one back with 7s with enough showdown, so we're going to see a river. The river's a 10, not great because it is another card over our pair, but when he checks again for a third time, easy spot to check back, hoping that we're good. He shows us pocket 6s, and we take the first pot of the day down. Hand number 2, a little bit of a better hand, pocket queens in the button, 5-handed, and there's an under the gun limp, folds to me, and I'm going to raise this up to $25 here, and the under the gun limper calls. Not sure what under the gun limping ranges are, usually some sort of pocket pair or suited connector. Let's go to a flop. The flop is 8-7-3 rainbow. He actually donk leads for $25 here, and in position with a pretty low flop for us. I think we're going to have to raise for value here. I did say that sometimes a lot of suited connectors can be here. We are very much ahead of combos like 5-6, 6-7, 4-5, I don't know, random hands like that. We are definitely dominated by pocket 7s or pocket 3s, but let's raise it up to $75 and see where we're at. With our raise, he decides on a snap call, which is going to be interesting. So let's go to a turn. The turn comes the King of Hearts, and he checks in the dark now. So given this action, given the snap call, given the check in the dark, I don't think that I am going to be behind here too often. And on top of that, I don't think that this king should hit his range. So I decided to size down to $65, just targeting one pair holdings or some sort of straight draw. With my $65 bet, he makes the call, and we're going to a river. The river is the deuce of hearts, so the backdoor heart draw does get there. And once again, he checks. I'm not entirely sure how much value I can get from one pair holdings or missed straight draws, so I decided to just check it back, and he shows us ace-8 offsuit, and we're going to scoop this one up. Potentially, I could have gotten a third street of value, but realistically, we just check back and make our lives a little bit easier. In this spot, we are in the must-move game, and we're only playing 3-handed as players move to the main. We pick up ace-3 offsuit in the big blinds, and both of the players, the button and small blind, limp to me. Ace-3 off, 3-handed. It's easier for us if we were to raise and take down $10 in the middle, so I raised to 30. Things don't go according to plan as the button who limped makes the call and the small blind folds. We're going heads up out of position, and the flop comes 7-6-3 rainbow. We have bottom pair, and it's honestly not a horrible spot for us, so I throw out a very small bet of $15 with a pair. He thinks and makes the call, and with the way he called, it just looks very weak. So let's evaluate a turn. The turn comes a 7, really good card for us, as I really don't think I'm beat now, given the tell that I saw when he called flop. So I bet again, very small, just to target straight draws and gutter balls or something like that. I bet out $25, and once again, he's really not too happy with the situation. He does make the call though. Heads up to the river, which is a king. Now, given I got 2 streets of value technically, let's just hope to get the showdown and hope our pair 3s is good. I check, and he checks it back. I show my ace-3, and once again, we're taking this pot down. Things are starting off pretty hot right now. We played for 20 minutes, and we've won the first 6 hands we've played, so things are going smoothly. So our must-move game breaks, and we get moved into the main 2-5 game, and we see a familiar face on the tables, and we're sitting to the right of Chase Bianchi. If you don't know him, he's a high stakes crusher and a fellow bracelet winner. The only difference is that he is actually good and knows what he's doing, so we're in a much tougher 2-5 lineup than normal, playing six-handed, so let's get ready to strap in, boys, because we are in for a tough one. So one of the first hands sitting in this 2-5 main table, we pick up pocket jacks under the gun with a button straddle. The big blind limps to my right, and I'm going to raise it up to $50, and it doesn't take too long for Chase to get involved. He's on my left and 3-bets us to 150. Folds all the way back to me, and, well, it's an easy defend, but out of position against a very good opponent who can 3-bet wide and continue aggression is going to make us a little uncomfortable. Anyways, we call, and we're off to a flop, which comes King, King, 6, Rainbow. I check my entire range to him, and he throws out a bet of 110. On a paired board, it eliminates a lot of combos of ace-king, and I also see him doing this with pretty much his entire 3-betting range. So with pocket jacks, easy defend and evaluate a turn. The turn comes the ace of hearts, really not ideal, but I am thinking that we see a lot of ace-queens and such may just check back on the turn for pot control. So obviously, I'm going to check and play in flow. He throws out another bet of $275. Using the logic that I said before, I call as a non-believer, and we're just going to evaluate rivers. I think a lot of aces, like I said, will have to check for pot control, but who knows? Now, the river is just one of the worst cards we could ask for. It's a queen. This board literally couldn't have gotten any worse, and I'm hoping this goes check, check. So I check, and nah, he doesn't like checking in this spot. He announces a bet of all-in and covers me, so it's about an $800 all-in total. Like I said before, he's very capable of polarizing bluffs, and our hand strength has just significantly decreased when every single possible card over our pair is on the board now. On top of that, he also can be bluffing with the best hand with some sort of ace-x holding. Thinking over my options, I think there are definitely better spots for us to bluff catch with pocket jacks. This kind of board texture is really scary and really tough to find the hero call, so I lay it down and make the fold. Chase is nice enough to show the vlog and shows us 10-9 of diamonds. Nice hand, Chase. For a session where we couldn't lose a hand in the beginning, one big hand happens, and now we're stuck about $200. In the next spot, picking up pocket fives in the big blind, action folds to the button who opens it up to $15. The small blind makes the call, and for $10 more, we're going to see a flop. Flop comes ace 4-3 rainbow. Action checks to the button who throws out a c-bet of $15. Small blind folds, and onto me. Here sitting with the gutter, and we double block the nuts. I decide on a call for just 15, that's 1/3 pot, and we're going to a turn. The turn comes a jack. I check, and he surprisingly checks it back, which is nice, and we're off to a free river. The free river comes a deuce. Perfect. We've got the wheel and the second nuts, and we also double block the nuts. Now, I'm going to actually lead out and bet big here, hoping he's on some sort of ace-x holding and can be sticky. I throw out a bet of $75, and he thinks for a while now and actually puts in a raise. Raises it up to $250. This is very strange action here, and I don't think we can 3-bet because I think a lot of sets are going to be forced to fold considering there's a 4-liner out there. So I decided to just make the call after thinking things over, and he shows us 4-5 of diamonds. We show our hand, and we're chopping this pot up. The sixth hand of the night, we pick up pocket sixes on the button. There's a cutoff limp, and I decide to raise it up to $25 to isolate this cutoff player who's been limping a bunch. Action folds back to this cutoff player, and he makes the call for 25. The flop comes 7-6-7, 2 hearts. What a dream scenario for us. He checks, and sitting with a boat, we c-bet $25, hoping to get some value, and with this $25 bet, he makes the call. Going to a turn, which comes the king of diamonds, and honestly, this is really good for my range technically, but even better news, he leads out for $75. We are just kind of salivating here, but we don't want to blow him off this hand, so I decided to just flat the 75, play in position, and hope to build a pot on the river. The river comes a jack, a card that just really doesn't change a whole lot, and once again on this river, he leads out and bets $100. Definitely time to go for a raise and go for value. I decided on a sizing of $375. He thinks for quite some time, hums and haws, and actually makes the call. Thank you. Show our hand. Our flopped boat is good. He tells me right after that he had ace 7 and actually thought about jamming the river. Well, looks like we could have made a lot more money, but it's fine. We win a big hand and we're happy to be unstuck. After winning a really big hand, this next spot with Queen Jack of Diamonds under the gun, I open it up to $20. At this point, the King of Clubs is exposed, so that's made known to the table. One of those cards that we maybe wanted to see. Anyways, the big blind calls the 20 and we're off to a flop. Flop comes 10, deuce, 6, 2 diamonds, and he checks to us. With 2 overs and the flush draw, I think we're going to c-bet on the smaller side here and see what happens. I c-bet $15 with a good flop for our hand, and unexpectedly, he puts in the check raise to $60. Obviously, this is a very easy call for us, but from playing on this table so far, I haven't seen him check raise at all, so maybe he has a really strong hand like a set, or maybe just top pair at the worst. Not entirely sure, but we put in the extra 45 and see a turn. The turn comes a 6, and paired boards are really not good for us anymore. Now, out of position, he leads out for $135. Here, I think we're just going to have to let this one go. Certainly can call for the flush draw. If we hit our flush on the river, we still might be beat, and I think we're just going to make our lives a little bit easier when we see one of the worst turn cards what we could have seen. I let this one go, and we're moving on. Next hand after that, picking up ace 5 of clubs on the button. The player to my right limps, and he just sat down with a min buy-in of $200, and now onto me. Definitely a good spot to raise, so I sized to $25. Action folds back to this cutoff player, and he makes the call. Flop comes ace 4, 10, 2 spades, and a diamond. He checks, and with top pair, we're just going to play standardly and go for value. I bet out $20, and he makes the call for 20. Going to a turn, which is the 6 of diamonds. Once again, he checks, and once again, we're just going to bet small for value. I think this is the kind of player that can call fairly wide, so we just bet $35, and he makes the call once again, looking a little frustrated. Feeling very confident in our hands so far. It doesn't seem like he has an ace. The river comes the 9 of hearts. For the 3rd time, he checks to us, and definitely just going to go for some thin value. I'm not sure what kind of hands he can be calling me with, but we throw out a bet of $50 again. He hums and haws and ends up putting in chips for a call, show our pair of aces, and he shows us 10-3 off suit. So happy to take this one down, and happy we went for thin value. The last hand we'll go over from this session, we pick up ace 5 of hearts on the small blind this time. Action folds to me, and I open it up blind versus blind to $15. Chase on the big blind 3 bets to $50, and we're battling with him again. Ace 5 of hearts, definitely not a hand that we're going to fold to a 3 bet. And there's actually merit to 4-betting this, but against a player like him, bloating up a pot out of position with a marginal hand seems like total disaster for us. So I think we can just make the call and see a flop. It's exactly what we do, and we're going to a flop, which comes Queen 8-5 Rainbow. I check, and he c-bets $60. This sizing seems a little large, and for the same reasons that he would c-bet most of his range from the previous hands, I think he'll do this here, so with bottom pair, we make the call. The turn comes a jack, board a lot more connected, 10-9 gets there, and once again, I check. He checks it back, which is really good for us, hoping to get to showdown and not bloating out this pot anymore. The river comes a queen, and I'm thinking now with bottom pair, I don't think we need to bluff at this with enough showdown. So I check, he quickly checks it back, and we show our hand and take this one down. Nice to win a pot off of him, and technically, we are 1-1 against each other, but he obviously won the much bigger pot.
We're good for it, I assure you.
Wrapping up this session here, we played for a little bit. I don't remember how long we played actually, but my goodness, man, I remember shooting the intro being like, well, there's 4 2-5 tables and should be pretty good action, should be a good time. Little did we know, we pretty much just sat down at the toughest 2-5 lineup that you can ask for. So yeah, Chase, super nice player. He's just a tough opponent to battle with, and everyone else was pretty solid. So definitely had to be a little bit more cautious navigating hands, and that Jack's hand to start off, sitting at the main game, was unfortunate for us for that run out. But we ended up being able to crawl back. We were in the game for $1,200, out of the game for $1,690. So pretty good profit there, way to crawl back. And if you haven't been paying attention, 2021 hasn't been the best start for us, but I think we just crawled out of the hole back into profit for the year. Profit of like 200 bucks or something, like insignificant. But profit's profit, green is green after like 5-6 sessions, so hopefully we can keep running it up. So thanks for watching this video. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.